All right, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and looking at my video here. What I'm going to show you is my collection of radios that are actually novelty radios, which means they are shaped like other objects, but they still play music. It's kind of interesting, a lot of clever ideas involved here. The first one that we're looking at is one I just recently got. This is a grandfather clock radio. This is a 1931 Majestic. This is the Sherwood model, number 156. And I just recently found one of these. I've been looking for one for a long time. And this one popped up. And the beauty of this one is that it is virtually all original. That is the original finish on it, which is in very good shape. It's got a couple little dings on it, but it has the original clock, which is working, which apparently is different. And the radio, actually I don't have it turned on. We'll see if we can get that to play. It's got this little storage door down here. Now this is a very dark version. Most of the ones I've seen are considerably lighter. Oh, there she goes. I'll tell you, when you crank this up, it'll blow your doors out. It's a great working radio, great clock on it. It's in great shape, and glad that I found it. So let's take a look at what else we have. Okay, the next one here, this is a 1933 old logger. It's a wooden keg radio. Now I forgot to mention that the Majestic, the grandfather clock, was actually in 1931. So I'm kind of going up in age on these. This is I've got a little lazy Susan here, make it easy to see. Got the speakers in the back. It's got some little copper bands on it. It's a cool old radio. It actually does play, but it has a little bit of hiss to it. There are many versions of this. The old logger one is fairly common, but kind of cool old radio. The keg radio. Alright, now this one is very interesting. This is also from 1933. It was put out by a company called Colonial, and they called it a New World radio. These are tremendous pieces of work. They have the internals are both upstairs and downstairs on this. Now if you spin it around, you can see there's like the outline of all the continents, and there's lettering and stuff. The downside to this particular one is that it's all been worn off. So at some point I hope to be able to put it all back on there. So this one's been loved for quite a while. Now this one's different from all the others I've seen. They came in black, they came in white. This one is a two-tone. It's had a little damage over the years. You can see she's got a break here. But when I had my repair guy go through it, he said that this is all original. He says this is how it came from the factory. And I have since seen another one just like this with the two-tone color. So this is a very rare version. You can see there's a speaker up front, and then I actually have another speaker on the back. It's a great little, man, I mean, I just love these things, and it sounds really good. Turn her up here. There you go. Sounds real good. The New World Globe Radio. Very nice. Okay, our next one. This is a Mitchell lamp radio from, I think, around 1940. It's called the Lumitone. This one is in absolutely excellent condition. It's got no marks on it, no flaws. The only thing with this is it has a fiberglass lampshade. This is a mid-50s, I think, but that's the way I got it. And I like it, so we're going to go with that. Actually, I use this lamp every single day. But it's got a really cool, the radio noise, the speakers up here in the top. So it kind of looks like a bit of a rocket ship. But she actually works pretty good too. If you want to listen to a ball game. Alright, there we go. Alright, now here's one of the all-time classic ones. This is the old Majestic Melody Cruiser. It's a cool little ship-shaped radio. This was actually copied by a couple other companies right after World War II. This is the original Majestic version. There's actually a nameplate on there. I can't see it. So I think this is from 41. But this is all original. It's got these little rings in the porthole windows that came that way. I don't know if that's supposed to be, but I have seen another one that way. And somebody put a little anchor on the front, and that's fine. But it's ship-shaped. It's original chrome. I had to do the re-rig everything on here, and had the insides worked on a little bit. It's kind of crowded inside, as you can see. That is an AAR5 chassis, I think, which is actually going to be significant in one of the other radios I've got coming up. But that is all the original lacquer, the coloring, everything. And she plays good. Let's have a listen. Yeah, that's a good one. These are real popular. A lot of people like these. I like it. This is one of the first ones that I ever bought. And just did some cleaning on it, and she looks good. Okay, now, right after World War II, there was a company called Porto Products. They put out a couple of very interesting sets. This one is the Smokerette. This is for when you came home after a hard day doing whatever, and you didn't have television, you needed to sit down and listen to some bang and light up your cigar, your pipe. This is what you had. You had little racks there for the pipes. There's a little humidor. You could put your cigars, put your tobacco in those. You get another door here for your other accessories. It's kind of cool. Even came with a built-in ashtray, which was actually portable. So you could take that and take it with you. That little cigar is actually a lighter. It's a cigar-shaped lighter. Now, I had seen these before, but I had no idea how huge these things are. This thing is enormous. That has got to be close to 2 foot long. They came in a white color, too, which I think was just a painted version of this. This one I got it in pieces and was able to put it back together. It's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. It'll do the job. It works. Let's live a listen here.
You're gonna look like the old guy. I'm sorry.
Yep.
No one
Talk radio.
like the old guy, and by no means are you the old guy, Rich. But that's how you.
So it does work. It's kind of different. It's got a nice little grill on the front there. So I'm still rounding up all the accessories for it, and maybe I'll just light me one up here. Now we'll take a look at the other one that they just put out. All right, now the other product Porto Products put out was this one, and this is one of my favorite ones. This is a spectacular example. This is called a Porto Baradio. This is the Stuart Warner version. It has a Stuart Warner chassis. Now some of them don't. I don't know if they were made before or after. This one is the ivory colored one, which is the rarest of the three. There was a Bakelite and there was a black one. But it's got all the handles, everything is on it. I'm told that that is all the original glassware, except for the swizzle sticks. Those are not, but they match. And then I've got a little ice tong here, which matches the glasses, and it matches the top of the canister there. So, but these things are also sizable. This is a really nice one. I mean, there's not a mark on this. This has really been taken care of over the years. This is, this is the other thing. If you didn't want to come home and have a smoke when you're listening to Bang, you can come home and have yourself a nice drink while you're listening. Turn up the music and see who's playing now. Oh, it just came unplugged. There we go. So everything about this is as good as it gets. I'm told that actually is the original lid to the ice bucket there. Although I've also heard other people say that it's not. But that's the original scotch, the original bourbon. The handles are there. This is as good as it gets. I don't think I've ever seen one any nicer. So this is also probably 47. This is the Porto Baradio. Okay, now this little guy is different. This is put out by a company called Empress. And this is called the Chalet, I think 1946-ish. It's a radio designed to resemble a Swiss chalet. It's got the roof. Got the little balcony there. Now the knobs are in the windows, and then your dial is down there in the door. It's kind of simple. Nothing spectacular about it, but it's just an odd thing to want to make a radio look like. The speaker's in the back. This is in really good shape. This one, I restored this one myself. Let's take a listen. Yeah, a little Jeremiah for you. This one has a kind of a different, the dial indicator down here is metal. Every other one I've seen had a plastic, red plastic that was all warped and bent up, so maybe that's been replaced. But that is an Empress Chalet. Now this one's a little different. This is a horse radio. It's made in 1948 by a company called Globe out of New York City, and it's just very simple. It's just a horse on a little base, a little wooden base. I don't really know why somebody came up with this idea, but it's got the little tuner there. You got the volume at the other end, speaker slots. It's in really good shape. Although the little stirrups down here, these guys tend to break off really easy. Just kind of a cute little novelty. I mean, this is a novelty. And it plays the Beatles. So it's alright. Okay, a 1948 Globe horse radio. Now this one is one of my favorite ones. This is a 1939 General Television's, I think it's a baby grand piano. So they did a great job on this. There's a Bakelite version as well, but I like wood. I think the piano looks better as wood. This thing's in fabulous condition. Comes with all the keys. It's got the foot pedals and the music board. Now it opens up, and then actually this little guy comes down, so you can see it says General Television, and that's where it plays. All right, this is a real interesting piece. They did a great job on this. And then that should just pop right up, just like that. 1939 even. All right. Okay, look at this one. The infamous Gridiron radio. It's a football radio. Are you kidding me? And this is heavy duty. I don't know if it's cast aluminum or metal. It's a heavy radio, but look at the detail. I mean, the casting is phenomenal. It's right down to all the grain on the pigskin. This was out of 1952, I believe. I think these were made in Amarillo, Texas, of all places, just for 1 year. They called it the Gridiron radio, and you have your laces. That's where the speaker is, and then you get your knob for the volume and your tuner. This one I've never had it touched. I mean, that is. It's a little staticky, but I mean, it sounds good when you get it tuned in. This is a very intriguing one. This is the true definition of a novelty, I'll tell you that. A football-shaped radio. All right, folks. Here's the Mac Daddy of all bottle radios. This is the Pepsi bottle radio. The 2-foot tall Pepsi bottle radio. This one, I think, is early 50s. It's got the octal tubes in it, so I think it was late at the end of the run. Now the decals are the repros that have been made, which is real nice. Did a fabulous job on those. There's even one on the back somewhere. Yeah, there it is. But it's got a knob on the back. There's your volume, but you want to tune it in. You go all the way up to the top. That's how you tune it, is up here. This one is in really good shape. It's another one I just stumbled upon and was able to finish it up. And I'll be honest, I'll turn this baby on. This probably plays the best. The best of any of my radios. You can crank this all the way up and there's no distortion. So, there's a number of versions of these. They made some beer bottle versions. There's a Coca-Cola version. But this is the old Pepsi. It's a good one. Now here's another very interesting one. It's not terribly rare, but it's hard to find them in great shape. This is the old Narragansett beer barrel radio. Narragansett was out of Rhode Island. That's actually real wood on this. And I didn't mention that on the other keg radio, but that was all real wood too. This is a really interesting one, and that when you turn it on, everything lights up. Now, even the ice, it's got like fake ice on the top. Now, the interesting thing about this particular one is those two bottles. Let me shut this back off. These are not the original bottles that came with it. I think this is early 60s, maybe 63. These bottles are gold plated. The story on these is in 1959, Narragansett put out their 1 millionth keg of beer. And so, to commemorate the occasion, they gave every employee a gold-plated bottle. I mean, look at these. They're extremely hard to come by, and these might be the two best in existence. So I got those just to put in the top of my radio keg. Now, the downside to this, we'll turn it back on, is that it generally doesn't play very well. I've had my guy go through it, and he says that's as good as it's going to get. It just will not hold a station. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's not too bad. But if you leave it on that station for more than a couple minutes, it'll just drift right off. But that's as good as it gets. So this is early 60s Narragansett beer barrel radio. Now the next one goes with this one. So let me show you that one. Okay, now this is a super rare piece. This is a Narragansett beer sign. It's a motion sign. It's got a little, I guess that's a little mug of beer on the top there, and it's got all kinds of different sayings and pictures running through it. And normally you would go, oh, that's nice. It's a nice piece. There's got like little hunting guy. But the beauty on this, of course, is it has a radio in it. Who would have thought?
He sent out a 2,000-word email. Aaron Rodgers.
This is that's a transistor. It generally doesn't work very good because it picks up static from the motor inside. This is late 60s, like 68, I think. But it's just the perfect companion to the barrel. I mean, how about that? Who's ever seen one of these? Now that is cool. When I got it, it didn't have the motor. I had to get a motor. I had to fix everything on this, so I was very pleased with how it came out. Super rare. All right, take a good look at this because you may never see another one. This is probably the pinnacle of my collection because nobody knows what it is. I can tell you that it was made by the Dodge Trophy Company, possibly in 1940. This is a gold anodized aluminum baseball trophy radio. No one has any information. That's the original Bakelite base on it. You can see the seams stitched right in it. Now when I got it, it didn't work. It had a Stuart Warner chassis in, which I took out. The original chassis is like the one in the Majestic Melody Cruiser. It should be an AAR5. I'm pretty sure that's what goes in here. And I'm pretty sure that it was supplied. See, Dodge was located in Chicago, and I'm sure the chassis were supplied by the Imperial Radio Company, which is also in Chicago. Now, why a baseball? Nobody knows. Were they all baseballs? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what it's supposed to look like. Nobody knows how many were made. I put the Dodge script on there just for fun. That'll come off. But there was a topper, and that's how the tuning was set up when I got it. I do have a chassis in there, and it does actually work.
He's the greatest of all time. But if
Right
you were
now.
on, let's say, the Packers, you'd be like, what?
But I need to find an original chassis. We think this was done by the Imperial Radio Company because it was the very next year. Imperial came out with the bowling ball and baseball trophy radios. Well, here's where they got the idea. From a trophy baseball radio. There's a number inside the top. It says 16, maybe indicating this was the 16th one built. But if anybody has any information on this, I need to know because we want to get it back to how it originally looked. These were probably all handed out to people in Chicago in 1940. I'm guessing they made it was like an anniversary issue because that would have been their 10 years in business. So maybe they gave all the employees, you know, a radio to commemorate. So that's possibly, like I said, the only one left. Okay, what we're looking at here is a photograph of a Westcraft radio. These were made in Phoenix right after World War II. A no big deal radio, super rare today, just a box with, you know, a dial and knobs. What's cool about it is the nameplate with the saguaro cactus and the Western style writing on it is super cool. I was lucky enough to get what was left of one of these radios once. It had the original prototype chassis in it, and I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and make my own custom cabinet versions. And so I ended up making, these 4. These all were radios I made 30 years ago and put the Westcraft name on. Now the one on the far left was lost in a fire. The round one was sold probably 25 years ago. It's in California somewhere. The other 2 I still have, and this is the first time they've ever been seen. Here's the first one. This one does not work. It was just an effort in exercise in something different. I even did a little swirl over the grill. Got all new copies of the nameplate in different colors. This one is done in rosewood. Now these strips across here and down here, these were actually all bright orange when it was brand new, but it's all kind of darkened over time. Like I say, this one doesn't work. It's just kind of a dead chassis in there. But this was a custom cabinet that I made 30 years ago. And let me show you the other one right now. Alright, and then this is the other one. This is made at the same time as the first ones. This is this just came out so nice. It's another custom cabinet one. Even that inside is an original prototype Westcraft chassis. Now I don't have it up and running at the time, but I will. Like I said, this has never been seen before. It's a very unusual design, and another thing that it does that I don't know if I can show you, is that it's a barrel shape and it actually spins. So you can rotate it up or down. Yeah. It's a spinning barrel radio. That's all acacia koa wood with Brazilian rosewood on it. So I wanted to get this on there and let you guys see it, see what you think about it, and and hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you saw something that you were interested in, and I certainly appreciate everybody stopping by. And thanks again.